You know that feeling, right? You're in a meeting, staring at a chart that's supposed to be super important, and you're just thinking, what in the world am I even looking at? Yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're going to figure out how to turn that data mess into a crystal clear, powerful message. Let's dive in.
Okay, take a look at this. I mean, really look. What story is this thing trying to tell you? Is something going up? Down? Is one color winning? It's a lot. And honestly, a chart like this doesn't just fail to inform, it actually makes things more confusing.
So if you're feeling a bit lost staring at that, don't worry, you're not alone. That's kind of the point. This kind of data dump is everywhere, and it's a huge roadblock to getting anything done. But the good news is, we can fix it.
See, the real problem is that we get stuck down in the trees, all those little individual data points and tiny details. What we really need to do is step back and see the forest, the big picture, the one single story you need your audience to walk away with.
So how do we find that forest? Well, it all starts with finding our compass. That means we've got to nail two things right at the beginning: understanding our context and picking the right kind of visual.
First up, context. Before you even dream of making a chart, you got to ask two simple questions. Who am I talking to, and what do I want them to do after they see this? That's the so what. Answering that tells you what's important and what's just noise. It's the filter for literally everything else you're about to do.
Okay, once you know your so what, you have to pick the right tool for the job. Think of different charts as like different camera lenses for your data. A line chart is perfect for showing a trend over time. A bar chart? Awesome for comparing different groups. Getting this choice right is absolutely crucial.
And this is a classic mistake. Look, our brains are just not good at judging the size of angles in a circle, especially when you have this many slices. It just becomes a colorful, confusing mess.
Now watch this. Here's the exact same data in a simple bar chart. Boom! Instantly you get it. You can see who's on top, who's on the bottom, you can compare them easily. Just making that one simple switch is the difference between an audience that's confused and an audience that gets your point.
All right, so we've got our purpose and we've picked the right chart. Now for the really satisfying part. It's time to do a little spring cleaning and clear away all the noise that's distracting from our main message.
This all comes down to a really important idea called cognitive load. Basically, every single thing you put on a chart, every line, every label, every color, is one more thing your audience's brain has to process. The more stuff there is, the harder they have to work. Our job is to make it effortless for them.
And we can do that with a super simple 5-step cleanup. The rule here is easy. If it doesn't add real value, get rid of it. That means ditching the heavy borders and grid lines. It means cleaning up the labels on the axes. And it means using color and text to help, not just to decorate. Each step just strips away more and more clutter, letting the actual data shine through.
Now that we've cleared out all the junk, we can focus on making our main point totally impossible to miss. This is all about being a director and telling your audience's eyes exactly where to look.
Let's try a little experiment. Take a look at this block of numbers. Quick, how many number 3s can you find? You gotta scan and search and count. It takes a second, right?
And now, bam! The answer's 12, and you probably saw that almost instantly. See, your brain is hardwired to immediately notice things that stand out, like a bright pop of color. These are called pre-attentive attributes. They're like little visual shortcuts that we process before we even consciously think about it.
And that is the power of visual hierarchy. Just like we made those 3s pop out, we can use the exact same tricks, especially color, to put a giant spotlight on the most important part of our chart. We are literally telling the viewer where to look first.
This all leads to a really simple idea. Good design isn't just about making things look pretty. It's about making things clear. When we thoughtfully use things like space, alignment, and color, we're taking our viewer on a journey, leading them straight to the big idea. So we found our context, we picked our tool, we cleaned it up, and we learned how to focus attention. Now it's time for the final, and I think most crucial step, weaving it all into a story that people will actually remember. Because here's the thing you have to remember. The ultimate goal isn't just to make a chart. A great chart doesn't just sit there and show you a bunch of data.
A truly great chart tells a story. And now that we've applied all these principles, we can finally uncover the simple, clear story that was hiding in that messy chart we saw at the very beginning.
So, here's how our story starts, just setting the scene. In 2014, we received a total of 162 pilot program applications across our 4 regions. Okay, simple enough. And now, here's the punchline. The whole point,
The West region had the highest number of applicants and was the only region to exceed its target of 40. That's it. That's the key takeaway.
And just look at this transformation. On the left, we've got a data mess. On the right, a clear data message. We went from a chart that makes you ask, what am I looking at, to one that declares, here's what's important. That right there is the whole game.
So here's your toolkit to take with you. Always start with context. Know where you're going. Pick the right chart for the journey. Remember that less is more. Declutter everything. Use hierarchy and good design to guide your audience's eyes, and most importantly, use all of this to tell a compelling story.
Once you start using these ideas, you can turn any confusing data set into a clear, powerful tool. So really, the only question left is, what story is your data waiting to tell?